If I could only learn one skill in 2024 to start making money online, I'd make sure it was content creation. Every single online business needs content creation, whether you're setting up an SMMA, a marketing agency, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, or any sort of digital business. Without content creation, there's no advertising for customers. So in this video, I'm going to teach you my latest methods of creating high quality, viral, engaging short form content. This is an invaluable skill whether you're a beginner or an expert. I can guarantee that the tips and the methods I'm going to show you will decrease your editing time and increase your efficiency. If you want to build a personal brand, you want to outsource your editing skills, build a theme page, or just create content for a business, this is the video to watch to increase the quality of your content and directly increase the money you can make. Now, I'm not just saying this, I've personally generated hundreds of thousands of views for my e-commerce brand organically, which has translated directly into thousands of dollars worth of sales. My personal brand has allowed me to become a full-time content creator, all through learning how to edit high quality engaging content. Now, this is why I'm so passionate about this, because it actually works and it can actually change your life and allow you to start making money online. Now, I know editing can seem complicated, but I'm going to break this down into a simple, easy to follow step-by-step guide with all the resources provided for you so you can follow along, and even if you're a beginner, you can have success with this. And once you learn the skill, at the end of the video, I'm going to break down 3 ways in which you can utilize this to start making some money. So without further ado, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into the step-by-step tutorial. So this is what we're going to cover in today's video. I've got 5 different editing tricks that you can add to your short form content to be able to create content like this. And no, it's not drop shipping, it's not SMMA, it's not crypto, it's not SaaS, or any of these businesses. I've really gone above and beyond to try and make this as high quality as possible so your content can stand out. I've taken inspiration from this guy who's going insanely viral on Instagram right now, and this guy who's just got incredible editing techniques, and I've come out with this. This is a side hustle for broke teenagers that anyone can start right now for free with just a phone. And no, it's not drop shipping, it's not SMMA, it's not crypto, it's not SaaS, or any of these businesses. Now, that's the first editing composition that I'm going to teach you how to create. Honestly, I've outdone myself here. This took me a long time to try and figure it out. We're going to create all of this in CapCut, which is actually insane. So if you're a complete beginner, don't get overwhelmed by that. It's really not going to be complicated. And the reason why I use CapCut to create my short form content is that it's so simple and easy to use. They've got pre-made effects, filters, transitions that you can just drag and drop. And you know, when you get captions on screen, you can literally just do that with one click. But they've actually got a really sick new update of AI auto captions and templates, so you can have a look and choose a brand new unique template to create your captions with. I'll be talking about this right at the end of the video, the transitions, effects, and captions. But if you're a beginner, don't be overwhelmed by this. These are just cool insights on the things you can create on CapCut, but just follow along with me. I'll make it as easy as possible for you. And the best thing about CapCut is that it's free. I'll make sure to leave a link below to download CapCut, and then you can follow along with everything I do in this video. So that's the first method that we're going to jump in and create right now. As always, I have all the resources for you in a folder that will be linked below, and you'll be able to literally copy me step by step. It may look complicated, but honestly, it's easy if you just follow exactly what I do. Additionally, there's a Google Doc linked below, which you'll be able to follow step by step exactly what I did, all the settings that I did to create these outcomes. So let's start a brand new project. Go into CapCut and we're going to import the resources for the video folder, which will be linked below. And now we're going to drag and drop this edit onto our timeline. We're going to make sure that the ratio is 9:16. So of course you want to go through, cut out all your mistakes, and make sure that your whole timeline piece, is what I've created, is around the minute mark, which is what I've already done. I don't want to show you chopping up the clips because you guys already know. Cut out mistakes, cut out pauses, cut out any filler words. Boom, done. We're going straight into composition 1, which is how to create this Vision Pro effect. So my hand, I've planned this beforehand. So I go like this, and is where I want to bring up all 4. So what we're going to do is drag and drop this lineup, which I've created in Final Cut Pro for you guys, and you'll be able to create this in Canva. The only reason I created it in Final Cut Pro is because I added this LED effect that goes around the edge. So first of all, we're just gonna delete this. I'm gonna drag and drop and add this into, and then we're gonna go over to cutout, chroma key, and then we're gonna click this and then remove the color. I kind of like figured all of this out when I was actually planning this video, but this is the best way if you want to add a video on top of another video but cut out the background, is to add a green screen. This is basically what we're going to have animated on. So it's the closest thing, which I angled them slightly off to make it look like it's 3D. But let me know what you guys think. This is a pretty cool effect. First of all, we go like this, hands up in the air. So I'm going to animate it off the screen. And this is what it says here as well. So you can follow these step by step. So cut out the chroma key and then keyframe position, animate the scroll up on the screen. So I'm going to make this so it fits on screen again like that. Then I'm going to bring this down. And then I'm going to zoom in on the timeline. Drag it back to the beginning. So that's the initial. We're going to go over to basic, keyframe, keyframe. And then we're going to move the cursor to when I bring my hand up. And then we're just going to move this back to 0. Perfect. Let's watch that. And then we want to option and K. And then because we're moving up the y-axis, we want to right click this one, graphs. And then it makes it a little bit smoother. And then we want to option K again and close that. And then, so this is the bring the apps on the screen, and then we want to move it and scroll through 4. So in the order that I've set it, I've put each of the individual frames. So you'll just be able to basically make it scroll through. So when you're obviously planning this ahead, make sure that it's in that order, because I did one before and it wasn't in order, and then trying to make it swipe and look cool doesn't really work. So and no, let me get to this keyframe. And then I'm going to start it here. And I'm going to move to the right, and then I'm going to scale it out to around this size, and then I'm going to have it start here, and then when I get to there, I'm going to move it there. So it's not drop shipping, and on the y-axis I want to make sure it's 0, because then we can keep them all in the same position. So let's look that back. It's not drop shipping. Then we're going to keyframe here. It's not SMMA. And then we're going to drag that Iman to the middle. Again, make sure that's 0. Then let's watch that back. It's not SMMA. And then my hand goes up. So press V if you want to hide it. Then my hand's there, so I'm going to add a keyframe and then move it along to crypto, and then press V, wait till I stop the movement, add another keyframe, and then press V and drag it to SAS, and then make sure that each one of these is on the 0 for the Y, which it is. And then the final animation, so then we're going to zoom them all back in. So I'm going to do scale, blend, and then we're going to make this 0, this 100, and this 0, and then we're going to then press V again, and then where I start moving, I'm going to keyframe there. Keyframe across and then off the screen. Gone. Okay, cool. And now we can just press Command B and delete this. So let's watch this back. And no, it's not dropshipping, it's not SMMA, it's not crypto, it's not SaaS, or any of these business. Sick. Honestly, guys, that looks so simple then, but I spent ages trying to figure out how to make this look good. So if you think this looks cool and you appreciate it, make sure to smash a like on this video. So now we need to actually make this look smooth. So first of all, I want it to be blur when they come on, and then when they zoom in is when I want it to reveal. So what we'll do, we'll hit the option, and then I'm going to drag this above, and then we're going to add the blur effects. Video effects, it will just be my favorites. I want to add blur, and then what we're going to do is basically have So when it's sliding up from here, we'll set that as a keyframe for opacity. We'll set that first keyframe, and then we'll move it, and we want it to come in there, and then I want it to be off there. And then I think I clicked the blend for each one of these, so I'll have to go through each one of these keyframes and make sure I turn blend off. Go back. Yeah, okay, so that's, and then we want it to blur in again at the end. So we'll take that one off, and then we'll max that one up there. Okay, so here we'll hit that, and then we'll make that 0. Then we'll hit that, we'll make that 100. So now it should blur. Right, now let's watch that back. Okay, I think what we're gonna do is we'll add motion blur here. So we'll go back to this one, 100% this one, maybe like 60, maybe like 80. And then next one, there, and then we'll make this 0. Okay, let's watch that back. Sick. Or, and then they blur off. So I might even do this here. Add that there. Then this keyframe, boom. Right, let's watch that back. Perfect. Okay, let's watch this back.
And no, it's not dropshipping, it's not SMMA, it's not crypto, it's not SaaS, or any of these businesses.
Sick. Yeah, that honestly, to try and figure how to actually come to this final look, it was quite difficult, especially trying to just use CapCut. Now we can go like this. We'll create compound clip, and then this is when we can add the little magic to it. So we'll go over to effects, and then you just want to search for, let me just reload this. Yeah, rebound swing. And this is what we'll animate. So let's see, make sure nothing goes weird. Boom, there we go. And then the final little trick is you want to do screen. Cool. So let me know what you guys think of this look. I think it looks pretty cool, especially the fact that we've made it in this. Okay guys, so that's the final look. You can mess around and add some shadow to this to bring out the sort of like illuminated screen effect more. But I think this look looks quite cool. The other thing I would recommend is that you can actually, instead of having this as a screen, we'll go in and we'll change this to normal. And then what you can do is actually add a glow effect. Again, this adds to it. So whatever you kind of think looks the best. Sick. So a little bonus tip that I've noticed some of the higher level editors that I've seen on YouTube and Instagram, just on social media, adding these really cool glow effects. So you can add this as an overlay to basically exaggerate movement. So let me show you how I use this in my setup. So we want to go on basic, then we want to go on screen. So I want to angle this to swipe through like that. So I'm going to cut back here and I cut back there, and let's see. Okay, and then I'm gonna, every time I basically swipe, I'm gonna make it swipe along the bottom. And then I'm just gonna move it down, angle this through, and let's have a look at this. And then what we're gonna do is just animate is just gonna be a fade in. We're gonna make it 0.1 and animate fade out. 0.1 as well. Let's have a look. Cool. And then we'll just Control V this and where we think roughly it's going to be. Let's have a look. And then we'll just add a final one, but we'll rotate it vertically. So we'll go like that. Boom. Boom. Perfect. So, what do you guys think? That's a pretty cool effect to learn. I gonna call it the Vision Pro style effect, where you see those people, they've got like 4 screens going on. So that's effect 1 done. Let's jump into the Google Doc and work on the effect 2. So if you're thinking, Johnny, when will I use this editing style? Remember, short form content has to stand out, and these different editing techniques allow you to be different when people are death scrolling on the feed. So instead of having a B-roll image pop up like the normal way, like you do like this, try utilizing this style of pop-up where it's like a 3D animation. It doesn't take very long to create, and it'll add so much more engagement to your content. Okay guys, so the next edit I'm going to show you is this animated avatar on a pop-up black grid. And again, I have all the step-by-step guides on which you can follow along with. That's what we're going to create. So let's jump into CapCut and create this. For the background, I've actually been using this black squiggle background instead of the grid. So I'm going to show you with that, but in the resources folder below, I'm going to have the black grid as well for you. So I drag this onto the timeline and find the spot. But what if I said that you don't need to? So then I'll cut that, boom. That's going to be the clip. And then I'm going to do option and duplicate this clip on top like that. And then we're going to use the auto cutout feature. So you go basic, cut out, and then auto cutout. And then this is basically going to apply me on top of this one. So this is where you create like the sandwich where you can have things appear from behind you. Then the next, we're gonna let me just cut this. Don't need that, don't need that. So I want this to basically scale in from there to where my shoulders cover both edges. Not like that far. Okay, so where my shoulder cover both edges, because then I can make the black background appear and it will look nice. Like that, that'll be fine. And then let me copy, so minus 380, 142. 142, 2, minus 380. Okay. So now I'm going to make the background animate from the floor. So what we're going to do is just going to scale this the whole size of the screen. And then I'm going to drag my cursor back to there. And I'm going to drag this all the way down off the screen. Then I'm going to set a keyframe here. Make sure that the X is in the 0, so it's central. Then I'm going to set a keyframe here. And then we're going to move forward. What if I said, and then I'm going to move this to 0, cover the whole screen. And then at the same time, so when we hit that keyframe, I'm actually going to set a keyframe here. It's not going to be position keyframe. It's going to be opacity. So there, and then what if I said that, and then that you don't need to, and then here I'm literally just gonna make myself disappear.
But what if I said that you don't need to?
Okay, so now we're gonna add the animated avatar. So let me drag this on top, and then I'm gonna go into cutout, and then I'm gonna do auto cutout, and this should get the animated avatar section. And then when it pops up, luckily, this was already edited for me by the person I borrowed this avatar from. Dip, thank you very much. Okay, so now we want, so that's the perfect space and timing. So then we're just gonna scale this up, and then I'm gonna add the mask to basically feather out the edges. So I'll show you what I mean. So increase that, drag this down, and you can see that line there. So I just wanna make it smaller and then drag up. And that should be perfect. Then we'll increase the feather to 2 or 3, and then we'll click basic, and there we go, that's done. So here you can add an animation to smooth it out, or if you like it the way it is, you can keep it the way it is. So let's see what it looks like, but you don't need to. So the feather's actually quite a lot for the top, isn't it? So let me look at the mask. Let me just quickly go like this, and then make it bigger that way. Let's watch that. Perfect. I actually don't think it needs the animation in the Google Doc, but let me just show you what it looks like with the animation, because it adds a little visual, I guess. We won't do the out one, we'll do the in one. But what if I said? Yeah, I think we'll go with no animation, because it's already got a pop-up animation. So let's say that you don't need to. And then to make this transition nice, we're gonna just add the glare transition here. And then what we can do, once we're happy with this, is that we'll go like this and that, and then we'll delete this. This is a little hack to make transitions smooth. We'll create compound clip, and then we'll slap a glare on top of this, and then it will clean out. Boom, there you go. And then it cuts out. So that is editing section 2. Now guys, as I always do, add a little bit of bonus. We'll talk about this over the end, but this is really crucial for this section. So it's the camera shutters. You obviously need to have transitions accompanied by sound. So let me just show you the difference that this makes. Boom. And then that's the cut. So that's editing section 2 done. Let's go back into the Google Doc and see what the third edit is. So now, if you've got anything you want to pop up on screen, you can add these motion graphics and then pop them up just like we did in this edit. And later on in the video, I'm going to show you how you can create all of these motion graphic styles that I pop up in my videos in Canva. And you can even customize brand logos to fit the style for your channel. Okay, so the next section we're making is called the content creator magic edit. And this is something I literally came up with on the fly. As I was filming, I thought when I'm saying the power of content creation, you can create anything. And I slapped my hands together. So I used this cool glow overlay, which I've dropped in the description for you guys. So this is what it looks like.
The power of content creation is that you can create whatever you want.
It's super simple, but I also think it does it kind of cool. And it's really brought to life with sound effects. You can create whatever you want. So let's blade tool that. And then we've got this glow animation. So let's just slap that on the grid, on the timeline. Then we're going to go to blend, normal, and then we're going to screen. And then we're going to go back to here. And I'm literally just going to drag that into the hand. And then we're going to click option. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to move this one over to that side. Move it in this hand. And we'll start it there. And then move that bit there, and then we're just literally going to animate them with a fade in. 3 seconds, and then we'll also do this one, fade in. 3 seconds. So let's look at that. So yeah, zoom in a little bit and make sure that it appears when I flick my hand. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so that's like way over there now. So it appears, but just like not in the right space. So let's drag it in front of the hands. Okay, cool. And then it's literally just a really simple case of classic going keyframe by keyframe. Again, this one's a little bit far over, isn't it? So let me move it over here. I'm actually going to just move it around with keyframes now. So hit position and size, and then when it appears, it's way too far, so I'm going to move it there. And then every time you move some keyframes, just use literally the arrows. You can then move it to exactly where you want it to be positioned. Not that far. And then when it starts moving, that's pretty cool how it does the little twirl then. And then one keyframe at a time until it goes to the center. And then we're going to do literally the same for this one. So again, position and size, and then I'm going to move across and then make sure that it looks cool, make it track the hand, and then we're just going to go 1 frame at a time as I'm moving. And then we'll have it merge in the middle. Okay, and then when we get to there, I'm just going to literally cut and cut. And then we'll delete those 2 clips. And now, literally, it's so easy. I'm just going to copy and paste it over the top. And then I'm just going to shorten this section to the slap bit. Make sure that this is in line with the cut. You also don't need that long. Perfect. And then we're just going to do cutout. There's probably a way better way of doing this. But I think this is just a little cheat code, isn't it? Where I make it disappear into the hand because the clip is overlaid over the top. So I don't have to do any magic, they just disappear. So, cool shot. I mean, I literally made it up on the fly, but yeah, that's editing 3. And then what I did was I had this overlap a little bit. And then when I did the flare transition, it looks like, obviously, look, I'm in the middle and I'm like, I got magic exploding behind me. So again, it's just another little trick. And then obviously if you add the camera shutter there, looks cool. But there we're gonna add an explosion, but I'm gonna show you the sound effects at the end. So let's jump into Google Doc and see what editing section 4 is. So that's an example of how you can do some creator magic. Here are some other ways that I've utilized these glow effects. Basically use it with a dark background to exaggerate your pop-ups. I think it looks sick, and when you use this animations, you can draw the viewer's eyes to certain areas on the screen. Definitely worth playing around with. Okay guys, so edit 4 is the animated timeline. So let me show you what this looks like.
You can create whatever you want. With the creator economy expected to grow from 100 billion to a 480 billion industry by 2027, learning this skill will guarantee
This is a really cool way of visually showing like some sort of increase in what you're talking about. So let's jump into CapCut and make this. We want the black grid and the overlay, so import those. So we're ready. 100 billion, grow, and then we'll do a cut there just so we know where it is by 2027. So that's the length that we've got to play around with from there to there. So we're gonna add the grid overlay here, and then we'll just shorten that to there. Then we wanna basic, rotate this for 90 degrees, and then we just wanna scale this up until it covers the entire screen. And then we wanna add the overlay also, and then we'll just blade that. Then we're going to go in, rotate it 90 degrees, and then we're going to scale this up as well. Perfect. So now we want to click blend mode, and we want to click screen, and then we just want to edit this. So I've put the settings in here. So for the overlay, we want -30 of the shadow and -20 on the contrast. So we're going to adjustments, basic, and we're going to take the shadow to -30 and the contrast to -20. Let's have a look at that. Maybe I want it to be a little bit lighter than that, so I'm gonna pull the shadow a little further back up. Maybe we'll do shadow 10. Okay, now we need to build this growing timeline. First of all, we need to add the text, and we're just gonna add increment 4 times 100, 200, 300, 400 billion. So I'm just gonna write 100 billion, 100 billion, and I'm just gonna put it over like that, and I will put that at the bottom. Then we go Montserrat, bold, italics, and we're gonna make this glow. We're just gonna use regular glow, reduce the intensity to like 20, have the range at like roughly 60, perfect. And then we'll just make this like font size 16. And then what I'm literally gonna do is just option, drag up, drag up, drag up. So now we've got this one, we can add 200 billion. We'll just drag this one up here. And then this one, we've got 300 billion, drag this up here. And then 21, we've got 400 billion. Let's drag that one up here. So as you've got the grids, you can roughly space it out similar. So you've got 1, 2, 3 squares there, 1, 2, 3 squares there. So we'll pull this down to there, and then we'll do like 2 square apart, roughly like that. Roughly equal, doesn't have to be exact. Just so visually, because you've got the grid lines there, you don't want to just chin them off and then have it not like at least kind of separate nicely. Okay, cool. The main star of this bit is the animated line, and you can create all of this in CapCut. Shout out to my guy, Joey Edits, because I used to do highlighters like this, highlight text in CapCut, but I actually never knew about making a line that animated. So we're gonna make this animated line, which I think looks sick. So you do a load of dashes, and then you bring the character limit down again, and then we rotate this bad boy 90 degrees, and then we're going to bring it along wherever we want to extend it. We're just going to increase this, really long dash, and we're going to bring the font up. So a super long line, because it's better to be longer, because we're going to use the masking tool. And then I want the line to be neon blue, so I'm going to use the preset there, and then we're also going to add it to be glow. I want the range like that, the intensity. Cool. So that's about right. I actually want it to be a little bit more bold, so like that, that'll do. And then we'll move this one up like this. So now, how do we animate this? Let me show you. Move it to the length of there, and then recreate compound clip. And then we're going to go in with the horizontal, start it at the beginning, and then we're going to rotate it around, minus 180 degrees, drag it down, add a feather, make sure it's covering it, so you want it to literally appear out of nowhere. That would be the first keyframe. And then that will be all the way up to 400 billion industry. So then we'll watch that back. Sick. And then if you want it to like speed up a little bit, so what we can do is we can do option K, position Y, because it's obviously moving up. We'll add like a long. And look, it speeds up gradually, or you can get it to speed up. Start really slow and then go whoop. I think that looks cool. We'll do that one. And then K, reduce that back. And now I think this looks sick. You guys might not think it looks cool. As we cross over basically the barrier for each line, we're going to switch the colors on, if that makes sense. I'll show you. So here, 100 billion, as soon as it hits this line, I want to turn this blue. So this is how we do that. I'm just gonna cut it at the point there. And then I'm gonna turn this clip, literally, boom, like that. And then change the glow, like that. Then I'm going to go through and do all of this for each one of those, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, now let's watch that back.
100 billion to a 480 billion industry by 2027.
Perfect. So now I want to basically make these look cool. So I'm going to create individual compound clips. And then I'm going to make these animate. So effects, we're going to go rebound swing, rebound swing, rebound swing, and rebound swing. But we're just going to bring it down to like really minimal and then really minimal speed. And we'll make them all slightly different. So then again, they kind of look like their own independent animated sections. So okay, cool. Let's watch that back.
100 billion to a 480 billion industry by 2027.
Sick. And then the additional feature is, so sometimes I like to add graphics in, which I don't know if you guys know actually how to create these graphics, but I think these kind of look sick when you add them on and you add the glow effect. So let me show you actually how you create these real quick. It's literally the fastest thing possible. Okay, so look, this is Canva, funnily enough, and this is where I create all of my icons and pop-ups when I want them to be custom colors. So if you ever see me creating like these glow CapCut icons or these ChatGPT ones, I've actually custom made these with the green background. And then what you can do is export these and add them into CapCut. So that's how I get my graphics, which I use in my content to make animations. So I'm going to copy and paste this one onto the timeline. Then I'm just going to make it the size that I want. So I want it to move it here. So I want it to fit on this line. And then we're going to line it up next to that. And I'm going to basically make it animate. The same time the text is, I'm going to make it animate. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then every time it touches it, the same as the one before, go back to the timeline, move it across. So that touches there. We'll go to the bottom one. We'll click Command B, and then I'm going to go to effects. I'm going to search glow, and then we're going to add this vibrant glow effect to that one. And then we're going to go to the next one. And then final one, Command B, vibrant glow on there.
100 billion to a 480 billion industry by 2027.
It's kind of mad, but we'll leave it like that. And then all we have to do is just quickly slap the dates in. So I'll just add text, add, drag it across, and then we're just going to do 2024 Montserrat. We're just going to have it normal. Want to make it have a nice little glow. Just glow white, intensity, range a little bit more. Okay, and then we're just going to literally just, again, do what we did for the other ones. And there we go. Let's watch this back.
100 billion to a 480 billion industry by 2027.
That's basically how to do that editing timeline. I think it looks kind of cool, and it's just a visual aid into basically helping you explain like time passing. I think it looks quite cool to add these sort of things. So that's effect 4. Time for the final bits where we go through, add the captions, add the sound effects, and also add some transitions to really make this come together. Okay guys, so the final section of the video is adding auto caption, transitions, zooms, and some sound effects. So if we go into CapCut, they've actually got a brand new AI templates feature. So let me show you how this works. So where you'd go before to add auto captions, and if you're a complete beginner and you've never done this, you go over to text, and then before you'd add auto captions. And this is how creators have been making these pop-up text on screen. But they've launched a new AI caption. So let's try this out. Okay, so now the captions have generated, we'll be able to click on them, and then we'll be able to highlight, make sure you highlight them all, and then go on templates. And let's have a look at the different template styles that we can create. So all of these will basically be done for you, so you don't have to do anything. It's all in one click. This is a really cool feature. I'm glad that they've added this in. So we want to have the captions like right under our chin. So when people are watching talking head videos, top tip, you want to keep their eyes so they can read the captions and also look at the face of the person speaking. There you go. That's a cool one. But look, they've literally got a huge selection of templates that you can just click and add straight away. Let's test this one out. This is actually sick. Fair play to CapCut. They have brought out a brand new banger feature, and it actually works. So you can literally directly just obviously jump in here, find a template that you can then start using for your branding. And look, it even has the old animated in space captions. This is sick. So I was actually going to show you guys how to create this effect without using CapCut's pre-built template, but they've made it now, so you don't even need to. But I'm going to show you anyway, because it's a good thing to know. Once you're happy with the captions, you can actually right-click, create compound clip, and then any effects and filters that you could otherwise add to videos, you can then add to your text. So I would then go to make that wobble effect. I would then add the rebound swing onto the captions. There you go. So that's now you can add, I guess, some crazy movement.
What if I said that you don't need to?
That's sick. So next thing I wanted to show you guys is that they've got all of these transitions. So the transition that I've been utilizing to create this one has been the glare 2. And you can literally just drag and drop these straight into any cuts that you have. And then like we did earlier, I add the shutter sound effect. Now, I've linked to you guys a bunch of sound effects in the resources folder below, but CapCut actually have their own sound effects folders that are all included. So you can go on here, and if you go camera shutter, they probably have one. There you go, camera shutter sound effect. There you go. So the same thing that I've brought in, you can use it straight from CapCut. So if we just Command B, we only want one shot of that. There you go. Or here. See, that's sick. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you, something that is really, really useful to know when it comes to actually making your videos engaging. Top tip. So let me go to the beginning for broke teenagers. So here, then I would do a cut. I would add a transition of a glare. And then I would zoom this one in. Okay, so then here, I'm going to actually zoom this in. So go and scale. So watch this. See, so when you are editing short form content, you need to keep basically switching up the tempo and the pace. So let me then go and find that sound effect and add that into the transition. Watch this. So now you can literally just flag. They say to do a cut every 4 seconds. Just a phone. So yeah, this is what you have to add to basically bring your transitions together. So the final thing I wanted to show you, because I think this is honestly the biggest change, is how you combine transitions, sound effects, and your animations that you've created to really create a full immersive experience. So in the audio, in the folder below, I've dropped these sound effects, and these are my favorite 2 to basically stack on top of each other. So this one, you've probably seen it in videos when it's like a deep bass whoosh, and this is really good when you're doing motion on screen. So let me show you. So here I'm going to move this across, and when this starts, listen to this. Sounds sick, right? It's like a boom. And then this is what basically brings your edits to life. If you have a noise that accompanies the motion on screen, like in real life when we do stuff, I tap this bowl, makes a noise, you're expecting these sounds from these movements. So when you add that to motion on screen, it really makes it look sick. So that's the sound effect that I use for these motion graphics on the screen. It's whoosh 4, it's in my pack below. And then the next thing I want to show you is actually how to stack sound effects to create an even cooler noise. So look at this. So for this one, when these appear, I'm going to add this bass down 4. And then I'm going to add this cinematic whoosh sound effect. And as you'll hear. And then I'm literally going to copy and paste this onto there as well, where it pops up. And then I'm going to shorten this one. And I'm going to shorten this one. And look. So boom, boom, and then the final one is obviously, so I'm going to add this one here. Sick. And then we'll just whack in the camera shutter at the end here. So this is just an idea of how much sound effects can really add to your editing. So ready? And then I'm going to do that like that. And I'm going to drag that up just to me there. So definitely utilize these sound effects in your editing because they literally add so much to the overall quality of your edits. So that's the end of my updated viral short form content editing tutorial. So I hope you guys have found that one valuable. If you have, make sure to check out my playlist where I've got a bunch of other step-by-step guides on how I edit videos for short and long form content. And of course, I haven't forgotten the 3 methods in which I promise that you'll be able to monetize this short form content with. Those are affiliate marketing, and you can get some results like this from producing content and funneling them to a link. 2, building an email list, and I've done a step-by-step video here on how you can create this. And 3, creating your own paid private community. If you want to find out more ways of monetizing your content, then make sure to join my school community below. But that's a wrap for today, guys. Make sure to check out the editing playlist for other videos like this one, and I'll see you guys next week. Your boys Gonskis.